Thank you very much for being here and making the time and effort to be here. You're the strength of our organization and our constituency. And I'm here because Wayne wasn't able to make it, obviously, but I'm also here in my capacity as the new ILA political director. And I wanted to speak to you to show our support and stand together in our continued fight for freedom. I also want to let you know that the NRA has no intention, even though there have been occasional rumors, that we have not nor will not abandon the Empire State. We're here to fight with you. We have legislative goals here in Albany and on Capitol Hill. And with 4 NRA directors coming from New York, we have plenty of incentive to stay active as well, I might add. But it's not just about guns. This fight is about freedom. It's what our founding fathers fought for and died for. It's what many soldiers and sailors defend even to this day. Our right to keep and bear arms is not just an NRA opinion. It also happens to be a majority Supreme Court opinion. It also happens to be a majority public opinion. And because gun control has become so unpopular, there's few, in fact, that will even appear in public, with the Brady Bunch, Carolyn McCarthy being the exception. But those type of people are always active and waiting for a tragedy to exploit so that they can advance their political agenda. And that's what we've seen over the last 2 weeks. And those of you who will remember a decade ago after September 11th, when terrorists misused box cutters, the knee-jerk reaction from the gun control group was, we need more gun control. Guns had nothing to do with it. Yet you have people like Mayor Blaine or New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg who like to blame everyone for their problems. And in this case, he likes to blame everyone else for violent crime in New York City. I guess he's also blamed Mother Nature for his recent problems with snow removal in New York City as well. But he crusades around the country to restrict the rights of honest citizens, just like you and me, all under false pretenses. He's not after illegal guns, he's after your guns. And that's a real snow job. If gun control reduced crime, New York City and where I work, Washington, D.C., would be safe. In fact, they're not. And let's be serious about it. Gun control laws in New York State and other states like California are very strict and a proven failure. Microstamping is registration in a gun ban by a different name. Your politicians have wasted millions of dollars. I understand $4 million a year for a total 10 years of $40 million on ballistic fingerprinting without any success for reducing violent crime or conviction of a single criminal. We don't need any more snow jobs. We don't need to compromise any more of our liberty or our future. New York has a proud history of firearms manufacturing, as you've heard, at Remington and other manufacturers, but the politicians don't seem to respect that history or the jobs that it brings or our rights as Americans. But working together, we can stop these politicians because once the rights are lost, they're lost probably forever. And we did work together last year. Since 2008, there have been a lot of us who've been hoping for change, and we got change in 2010. And working together last year with the state organizations, as well as the Institute for Legislative Action and our PAC, the Political Victory Fund, there was a lot of success in recapturing the Senate, which I'd call a firewall for freedom here, and also retiring several anti-gun members of Congress and replacing them with Second Amendment supporters. I call that election upgrades. And I'll mention some names. In New York 19, Michael McMahon was replaced by Michael Grimm. New York 19, John Hall, very anti-gun, was replaced by Nan Hayworth. And the 20th District is now represented by Chris Gibson, the 24th by Richard Hanna. Chris Gibson's a great man. 24th, Richard Hanna. In the 25th District, Dan Maffei was replaced by Anne-Marie Burkle. And without a special election that they were concerned about losing in the 29th District, Eric Massa was replaced not so quickly by Tom Reed, who's also a great fellow. And you came ever so close in the 1st District to retiring involuntarily Tim Bishop. And that would have been a good one as well. They joined pro-gun Congressman Chris Lee and Bill Owens, and this is a huge success. And those of us who have to work in D.C., it's a nice place to visit occasionally. We appreciate it because it's more reinforcements to put together the support that we need in Congress. In fact, in the 2008 election, we went from 226 A-rated members of Congress to 262 A-rated members of Congress, and that's a strong gain. Now, while I'm political director, there's a lot more to the NRA than politics and legislation and elections and policy. The NRA represents literally millions of Americans from all walks of life. There have been 20 million kids who have been taught by our Eddie Eagle program, and we have the lowest accidental firearm-related death or injury rate that we've ever had. I'd like to see Mayor Blaine meet that objective. We have 60,000 certified instructors, training instructors across the country. Obviously, competitive shooting, many of you may be involved with, hunter services, wildlife conservation, many programs. We've got 3 magazines, all kinds of publications. That's what the NRA is about and has been about since 1871 when it was founded here in New York. Unfortunately, though, the national debate has become really a debate about the lowest common denominator, as I call it. Should all politicians be judged by the behavior of Eliot Spitzer and Eric Massa? Probably not. Should all the media be judged by the false reporting in the recent Tucson tragedy about Representative Giffords having died and the nut who shot her having been a veteran? No, probably not, but you should be very skeptical of their reporting and their accuracy. Should our Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens be judged by the misuse of firearms by criminals and crazy people who violate laws by definition? Of course not. Firearms are legal. We own them as honest citizens and voters for many legitimate purposes. We own them and use them for many things, including self-defense. We don't have the benefit of taxpayer-funded security as Mayor Blaine does, nor can we all afford to live in gated, nice, secure homes and neighborhoods. The NRA has been called many things over the years, stubborn and persistent, and I say you can count on it. Thank you very much for all of your support. Stay strong and vigilant for freedom.